Good morning. Hello, good morning. Welcome to Sunday Morning Coffee, number 96. Thank you for bearing with me as we had to cancel last week's. But it means that this episode will be twice as good because I have 2 weeks of news, which is a lot. I've written all that down and there is a lot there. So hello, thanks for coming back. I'm sorry if, last week you were there waiting. I kind of did leave it till the last minute before cancelling, but I wasn't quite sure. So, yes. So hello. Let us begin. Occasionally I think I don't actually have to do Sunday morning coffee if I'm really not up to it. And another part of my brain's like, you have to. You told them every Sunday. So yeah, I'm glad that I did. I did cancel last week, but I didn't have much option really. So yes, hello. Where do I start? So yes, I wasn't great last week. I've been having quite a few mental health shenanigans going on. I'm a lot better at the moment, but I'm generally still on a bit of a wonk. So the nature of it all is that I yawn a lot and I do this which is fun. But yeah, last week was a bit of a washout. But I still managed to get some really exciting things done. So I've got lots of notes. It's a whole book. It's going to be an hour. It's going to be a long one. But yeah, I've got a lot to chat about. I pretty much cancelled all my Sunday plans, which was sad last week because I was going to see some friends I haven't seen in ages, but I was not well. Yes. So yeah, again, I won't go into too much. It's not going to be a downer. But I got a variety of mental health shenanigans, and I've just been a bit struggly of late, but also managing to do some really cool stuff somehow, as well as noticing that light is flickering again. Insane. More insane. I will do as I did last week. Oh, maybe it's not now. It's if I move. Maybe I should just not move. If I stay. I'm just going to move the light closer. That is all. I will figure out one week how to turn the auto light adjust off on the tablet because it is an experience. So right, what have we got? Where should we start? So yeah, by self-care I was in bed. So I've got a whole list. They were, as always, in the order of how they've gone into my brain last night when I was putting it all down. So none of it's in, well, might be in a little bit actually, a little bit of a chronological order. So what have we started off? We've been working with some new people. I've been doing lots of dealios with different people. I've got some news which so much news. I think 2 of them I'm able to talk about next week. One of them might be every. Sorry, I'm reading the comments at the same time. One of them I might be able to say tomorrow, and I'm like, ah! And I'm gonna try and keep that news till next Sunday morning coffee, like a true YouTuber, to get max views. But it's really exciting. And yeah, there's some really cool stuff, and it's just all been in the background. There's also a project which I'm now starting to tell people about, but only because I know that I've got a week left. So I've been working, you know how I suck at keeping secrets of my own releases, and generally it's rarer and rarer that something brand new sort of goes poof. I've been testing myself by working on a project for the last pretty much a year. It's been a year. I've been working on a project that nobody knows about. Nobody. Not even my best chums. It's just been entirely secret. And now it's gonna happen maybe next week. It's so cool. And it's been fun. It's fun. You don't know Troy. Troy thinks he knows, but he doesn't know. Troy does know one of the things. Troy knows a very cool one, to be fair. But yes, all the things. Oh, mug reveal. I have Jigglypuff today. I feel like I need to get more mugs. You've seen all of the mugs No, I'll try and get a good mug rotation in. So, some stuff. Oh yeah, I could mouth all of the secrets. That was all. There we are. So that's pretty cool news there. So I have been working with Maria, a new lady who is working with us. She's been writing stories, which is something I've wanted to do for a while, and I'm learning and learning to actually get people to do things. So if I put that there, I don't need to hold it. So she's written me a story about Sir Gregor, the guinea pig, who has to. It's a short story aimed at sort of young adults, but not really. It's like everyone. Where Lord Gregor, well, Sir Gregor, how he becomes Sir Gregor. He's a guinea pig knight who has to rescue his knight. What's it? What's the word? I can't remember what the word is now. That's why I'm not the writer. The sort of like hand to the knight has to go rescue his knight who is trapped in a dungeon. And has to use Squire, yes. He has to use all of his guinea pig skills to rescue her, who may or may not have any likenesses to real people at all. So we've got this wicked story, and what I intend to do with it is start working with her more actually to do some other little stories. She's already wrote a little one about the dungeon goblins as well, the dungeon cleaning goblins. And I'd quite like to work with her to do some mini stories on some mini stories on my brain. No, on some of the miniatures, just to sort of bring them to life a little bit. So just some little tales of what they might get up to. And that's making me really excited. I think that's wicked. And because I love the sound of my own voice, not really, I hate it, but but I've been reading the comments now. I like telling stories, and I think I'm good at it. So I'm gonna do a mini series of reading out these various stories because lots of people did like me reading out Joe's book. So I'm going to be doing that. I don't know when, because my plate is absolutely full and overloaded, but that's the sort of fun thing that I might do on a weekend or something. So there's that to come. So just a little side adjacent thing of just a bit of fun, really. Is the wicked story going to come with a colouring page as well? Possibly. I've been looking at another artist just to do a little cover for that actually as well. So I think because I was, as well as my mental health just being a bit rubbish at the moment, I've definitely been suffering from burnout for like a few months really, and it's really just like I can't. Luckily I saw a good meme earlier about the answers to like just rest. It's like you can't rest if, and a list of things, and I was like yes, all of those things. So I think I've kind of been distracting myself by some of these little side projects, but anything that works really, isn't it? So I'm still doing things. I'm not there thinking I'm not doing anything, but I'm just doing something a bit different. So that's been really nice. Oh God, yeah, that's true. Jigglypuff. I've got to be careful on my notes because some of the notes I've written in to me, but they're not to you. So I managed to I had a few things that were really like, Annie, you need to do this. If you don't do this, it's going to be really rubbish. Which is extra hard when I'm sort of like trapped under a duvet. But I managed to get photos to another book. Yes, so 2 new books. Can I say? You might be able to figure it out. 2 new Osprey books will be having my miniatures in there, which is really exciting. I like to get them in as many sort of as possible to get them out there and gets them seen, then it makes me go, oh, that's cool, when I get the book and go, there's my minis, yay, that's cool. So that was good. So I had a bit of a deadline to get those photos sort of together, take the photos, all of that, which those sort of things take up quite a lot of time, but they're worth doing. So that was really cool. What have I got here? I've got a project with Moonstone, which unfortunately has finished, although I think it had finished by the last Sunday morning coffee. I might have mentioned it in the one before. I can't remember. Oh no, I think last time I was able to say it's nearly sorted. Yeah, that was it. It was like 99% agreed, so I couldn't say it last week. Last week. So it's not too late technically anyway, but I've been working with Moonstone, which took up quite a bit of time to get lots of deals and numbers and all that sort of figured out and logistics. But we are making their terrain for the game. So there's Moonstone, and they've got a beautiful range of figures. I've been aware of them for quite a while. If you haven't had a look, go have a look. They've just had a Kickstarter, but you can. I think you can join in as a late backer. It's called The Arising. It's all very fantastical fantasy and scenery provided by Bad Squiddo. So there's sets that you can only get from this Kickstarter. So they are like bits and bobs of each of many of our terrain packs. So if you have a little look, I swear I should have put a link in, but just put Moonstone The Rising. So you can get various packs from them, which again I won't be doing. So if you need them, you gotta go to Moonstone. So these are all like the details we were working out. So there's like a forest selection, a market, a swamp, and a farm. And they have sort of like the odd bits from different packs. So if you kind of want like a chunk of terrain, but you don't want to buy, 8 tree stumps and 8 squirrels and all that sort of stuff, then it means that you can like little sample packs really. And it works for Moonstone because it's a skirmish game. You might not need a million bits of terrain, but it's just like, here's a group of stuff. So I massively recommend you have a look, not just for my terrain, but for their Kickstarter as well, because it's lovely. It went really well. It went on like 70-something grand, which is really cool. And the people there are lovely. And it's really nice to work with other companies. Makes me feel less on my own little island sort of thing. And especially when they're lovely. I don't think I've worked with anyone who's not lovely yet. It's when I go, oh, hang on. No, actually. Daniel says, in a dream, I got fired from an indie conglomerate made of you, Osprey, and a few other mini creators for refusing to stop painting pride flags on minis. This was indeed a dream. It was very specific. You know you'd never get fired for that. It's probably the job that we'd give you. You can be the flag guy. Not the minis, she's just got an assembly line where you just rainbow them all up. We have a late Felicity. Hello. If your parcel's arrived, there's a very exciting present in there. New Sculptors. I might have some new Sculptors. Well, I might have one new Sculptor. And 2 Sculptors that I haven't worked with for years might be doing some stuff. So this fantasy Kickstarter that is coming out after this, probably be August. It's going to be fairly soon after the World War II's release, because I just want to get it out there. And it's different enough to World War II that it's not like, oh, we've got to go all in again, unless you're Troy. Then you have to. That also reminds me of something else to add to the topic agenda. Put that down there. So yes, this upcoming fantasy Kickstarter, the long-awaited. I've got a few sort of gaps in the in what we've got. So I've decided to use that as sort of chance to work with some different people. So I won't mention their names in case it jinxes it, because they haven't done anything yet. But there's 2 sculptors that we haven't worked with for years, and I'm excited to get some stuff off them. But it's all like quite tight deadline, and they've got deadlines and stuff, so it might not make it in time. But we'll see. We'll see what we get. But that's exciting, working with different people again, although I still need to give them the briefs. That's this weekend, which is now. So today I'll be writing some briefs. So we've got ideas for, I'm kind of going for generic fantasy tropes, and there's a few that we haven't got yet in that range. But I'm quite excited the stuff that can be added onto this. So it's going to be bigger than I thought, because there's not going to be tons of minis for it. But in the add-ons, there's obviously all the terrain, and there's things like Hootie McAlface, Erin the Archer, Adira, the Chaos Champion. There's lots of minis that people might not have seen, so getting those all put together, and then obviously all of the Amazons and Dwarfs. I think that would be kind of cool. Jasper says, sad about the July 1st. Will that affect the Kickstarter? You're not being down. Well, you are, but it's a fact, and it's something that's been bothering me. So I will talk about that actually now. This has been one of the things on my very, very overloaded plate. So shipping to EU gets crap on the 1st of July, but there are solutions. So many people have been driving themselves to the edge trying to figure out this. So it's IOSS. Basically means that from the 1st of July, it's like Brexit has just got even worse. So from the 1st of July, the under 22 euro limit for things not getting extra taxed is leaving. So it mostly affects people who buy smaller things, so smaller orders. So if you maybe buy 1 or 2 models at a time, it just means you're going to get taxed more, which isn't the end of the world. This is me trying to find some positives in it. It just means you're going to have to just buy. You might as well go, well, if I'm going to get taxed, I might as well buy more stuff. But the other thing is that there's a whole. This is me simplifying it. It is actually a massive nightmare. They're making it so that you have to register for tax in every country you ship to, and it's just this whole like. And me and a bunch of other companies have all been chatting with each other, and like each day someone will go, I found a clause in this bit of paperwork, because you'd think obviously this is affecting a lot of companies, So that means that, hang on, what does it mean? A lot of companies. So obviously outside of wargames, just every British company that exports to the EU, which is a lot. So you'd expect there to be a guide on how it might work and, how to make your business compliant. You would expect this if you were not used to the UK. So there's nothing. There has been nothing. And we've been getting close to the deadline, say it's about 10 days away now, and there's still pretty much no advice. But I have a bit of a plan, so it should be okay, actually. Still suck, but it should be doable. It won't be the end of the world. So I believe I need to confirm. I need to confirm this. So Royal Mail will be working in conjunction with a company called Taxamo that work as the middleman or woman or non-binary middle person, and you pay them. So it means I have to pay extra. So I pay them to be the middle person, which means that I don't have to register for tax in all of these places, and it basically just that makes everything a lot easier. Which is the sort of thing that places like eBay and Etsy are doing, but they're doing obviously on a much larger scale. But Taxamo seems to be the most workable for basically all the smaller war games companies you can think of. That sort of, there's obviously like GW, Warlord, and it depends what you're looking at. There's Mantic then as in the UK, sort of big companies, and then everyone underneath it pretty much fall into the will probably be working with Taxamo sort of thing. So it should get more, you'll get used to it, I think, because we'll probably all start doing the same thing. There'll be a bit of teething, but that does seem to be the solution. But it's also whether it will integrate digitally with your website and or Royal Mail account. So far, they've only announced that one webcart system, Magento, will be working with it, and there's no news of anything. Me and Ian at Fenris use the same sort of like, what is it? Same cart, but we've got the same web guy and everything. So he started doing some inquiries on Friday. I just thought, it's Friday. I'm not dealing. Friday, me's not dealing with it. But he was talking to our shopping cart software people who went, what? I'm like, oh, nobody knows anything. No. So yeah, this is fun. But I've been relatively chill. I've been background stressed about it, but I haven't been pouring through as much literature as some of the other people. Some of these companies have just been driving themselves absolutely like up the wall with it. And I'm glad I haven't been doing that, because I did that with Brexit and I still didn't get any further with it. It's just like now I have more of a headache and I've lost time doing other things and I still don't understand. So yeah, the whole Brexit thing's been obviously awful. But yeah, that whole 1st of January, we still didn't know what was going on. So my positive Annie goes, well, I'll be able to ship to the EU, because if they make it so you can't, that would, that's not going to happen. It's probably just going to be a bit more expensive. But I am looking into doing, I haven't quite figured it out yet, but at the very least with the Kickstarter, I've been figuring out what I can do to make it nicer if you order a lot, like a sort of free shipping limit or something like that. But I shall see. So yeah, it is absolute rubbish, but it's happening. So I'm more of a, there's the problem, how can we tackle it? No point just being sad sort of thing. Because a lot of people are like, oh, well, it's all over now. Because I'm like, yeah, you can always sort things. And they might suck, but you can't do anything about it. So best just plowing on. What we got? I felt the need to inform you that I used a strimmer for the first time 2 weeks ago, and I felt very badass with it. So yeah, that's a bit of news. I had a day off last week amongst all of my burnout, and I went to Lincoln again, a second time to go to Lincoln. I didn't meet up with Fenris this time. I met up with a different friend, and we went, did some stuff that I didn't do with Ian. So we went round the castle walls, learned a lot about Lincoln Castle, which was really good, and went to some antique shops. Did I get anything in the antique shops? I did not. Found lots of racist things in one of the antique shops. There were two. Steep Hill's very good. There's an antique shop on Steep Hill, which is very good, had lots of really cool stuff and was really curated. And then there was another one that just had loads of stuff where I'm like, I wouldn't display those things or just destroy them, they are bad. That was an interesting comparison. But yeah, the one on Steep Hill, if you're in Lincoln, has some cool stuff. Andy, you hope the strimmer was for gardening. Maybe murder, not murder. Strimmer is just a garden lightsaber. That is true. So what else? So yeah, Lincoln was wicked. It was good to see my chum, hang out. I didn't bring it over here, did I? There it is. I got a new book, which was exciting. Lincoln's quite a walk for some of us. This is true, but this is why everyone should move to Nottingham. This is what I'm aiming for. So I managed to find a new book, which is over there, which is called Going with the Boys. I put that in the newsletter. Oh yeah, there's more stuff to talk about. Loads. So yeah, got a new book, was excited. Had a day out, had again just going out somewhere, hanging out with mates, just really nice. So that was a win. And yeah, I went and hung out. You might know Jasmine, who used to work for Great Escape Games. She's from Lincoln, so she was about. So that was really nice. Kickstarter Metal. 93 kilos arrived. That was a lot. So the Kickstarter Metal is here for all of the stuff that has been sculpted so far. So all of the original things, all that metal is here and ready. And this is very cool. And yes, it looks so nice. Yeah, I'm pretty sure half of it is Troy's. Yeah, I should have just got it straight from the source, shipped over to Troy. So Kickstarter Metal, Office Shuffle. Oh yeah, so if you saw the video, I I was going around the office for Friday, just showing you how I'd shuffled things around to make them fit, and going, I don't know where all this Kickstarter metal is going to go. But yeah, that was really cool, getting all that, knowing that that's ready. It's just the stretch goal stuff, which again is entirely my fault for going, let's have 1 million stretch goals, and saying to the sculptor, Alan, I said, you can knock out a couple extra bits, can you? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And then here's the list. Oh, and then he's been on various unicycle holidays. But he's back now, and he is fully in the sculpt. So he's just done the tank riders, which I haven't seen yet. They're on the next thing he's going to show me. I don't know what he's on to next. I basically just give him the list, and then he just does it in a way that works for him. So that's cool. That's sort of making some more progress. There's so much I want to tell you, and I can't. So you can do this, Annie. This is where I know I'm just going to say some of them at some point. That's my fear. Yes, so in that metal was also some restocks. We've been out of the Soviet snipers for some time. So if you were one of those people who are like, when are the snipers coming back? They are back. And if there was anything else that you were thinking, oh, that's out of stock, it is back in. We are very nicely stocked right now. It's very good. I got there. Missed on the little side bit. Daniel is moving nowhere until he figures out how to get off the couch. This is true. Oh, Alex will be working with a T-34. Yes, take some photos. Yes. Also, I found someone to paint me a T-34. So I need to ship her that on Monday. And I'll let you know. I'll say who it is when it's in progress. I don't like saying things before they're done because I feel like it jinxes them or puts pressure on the person. So if for whatever reason things don't work, then it's nice. It's nice to have not put that sort of weight. But yeah, I've got someone assembling and painting a T-34 for me. Finally, because I haven't had my own. So I can take some nice pictures and things like that, which would be cool, especially when all the new tank riders come into. I can have a play around with it. Be cool. Cowboys. So we've shipped out 1 million cowboys, although they're called gunfighters. Cowboys, really, aren't they? From Great Escape Games. They have gone so well for me. So I've had 2 restocks from Great Escape Games since the original lows, and I am proudly able to continue doing the deals. So if you've missed out, there's even a 5-box deal which someone went straight in on yesterday. I was like, yes. Daniel's comments held for review. Shall I show or shall I hide? Like Caesar, I will allow that, Daniel. Does that mean you're now a cowboy outfit? Nah. So yes, we have the plastic cowboys. Gunfighters. And yeah, they've been flying out, so more and more. I put in an order with North Star yesterday for their new plastics. So the plastic, I love the plastics. The plastic revenants and the plastic mounted humans from Oathmark. They'll be in the shop probably fairly early next week. North Star usually quick getting them all to me. So that is cool. Jasper, I'm mostly thinking of using a not so good Lend-Lease tanks for my Russians. So M3, Grant, Churchill, etc. Would tank riders fit there? Yeah, we're making them just so they fit sort of anything really. It's all a bit what's it? Versatile. So yeah, they'll fit on anywhere because they're all fairly standard. Thank you, although I can't remember who it was who sent me the T-34 measurements in the week as well, because I just wanted to make sure. Alan was just interested in like how much butt space there was on ledges and stuff like that. So yeah, but yeah, they'll sort of go everywhere. They're sort of sitting, leaning on stuff. You can always bodge bits as well. So that'll be extra cool. What else is here? More packaging. I was doing more packaging. More packaging has come. If any of you have read the newsletter, go have a little check. If you haven't, for shame. There's loads in the latest newsletter. It's like a Annie's diary. So I've mentioned that, yeah, I think I showed off some of the new packaging in there. So I'm nearly there now with the Ristles, the Bad Squiddo Scenics. It's nearly there in terms of it all. All being lovely and all looking good. So there's so much stuff. I'm just reeling down this list, and there's still loads more. I've written down one of the secrets there. I can see it. It's there, and you don't know what it is. I've got a community miniature update, finally. It was a very lettered news. So I've got a new artist, Deval, who has been working. He did a little sketch just of April Flay just as a tester, and he's going to be helping me get some of my ideas about the community miniatures into a sketch that I'm not ashamed of. Yay! Because me freaking out over showing you all my crappy sketches was a bit of a block for me. So now I can show him the crappy sketches and he can make them nice. And then we've got a proper thing. Why is it? It keeps holding all your comments. It's held Carol's now. I'll let you know. It's because of swearing, which is very nice of YouTube to do that. Although I do need to point out the usual thing to Daniel that all chaps are assless. But it's still. Why was he talking about assless chaps? I don't even know. I just sort of went, ha, assless chaps. I have no idea. I don't know. What do we got? So yes, community miniature update is on there. So if you're following that blog, I put a link to that in the newsletter as well, and a link on the Ko-fi. So I'm getting a bit more movement on that. I'm going to try and get those sort of artworks and briefs together so that when Alan's finished doing the World War II, he can go straight on to doing community miniatures. So we can get caught up with that, because I want that to be this sort of rolling, one a month thing. It's my own fault. I got carried away and went, everyone wants them, which is cool. And it's going to give us a nice big start to it as well. But then after that, if it's sort of like one or two month, it's more of a manageable thing rather than me going, what have I created? But I'm really excited about that as well. Gamers Grass. I haven't stopped chatting, have I? Whew. Gamers Grass. We've got loads more from Gamers Grass. We've got lots of new flowers. People are like, yay, flowers. I'm like, no, there's the flowers, but these are new flowers on top. So we've got some different colours. I really like the dark blue ones, the sort of subtle flowers. And the violet are my favourites for just looking really lovely. So have a little look on the website. Mum's off to London. Have a very nice time. What have I got here? So some new Games Grass, which is cool. I'm also giving the bases a go. So I've put all of the bases on the website. I've got them in stock. They don't have tons, so I'm intrigued as to as always, how people will receive them, because I haven't had anything sort of brand new in the shop for a while, because we don't stock too much anymore. It's the sort of the grass, the plastics, and the occasional other thing. So it's quite interesting to see how the bases will go down. If you haven't seen them, have a little look, because they are cheating in the best way possible. They're just done. I was showing some people in my office going like, look, they're just done. Like, it's already done. They look really good. Normally that sort of thing, you go like, okay, they've done it like 80%, we'll just make it look good. Like, it really does. They really do look good. So have a little check them out. So they're pre-painted, pre-textured. So they're resin cast, painted up, and then with tufts on them. They just look really good. So if you hate basing, that's perfect. Or you just don't have time, you just want to wax them on. Or you've got commission painted models, and then you can just whack them onto that. I'm nearly there. In non-Squiddo news, so I, not Bad Squiddo, I was thinking of some happenings really. I bought some big skeletons from Heresy. Again, not bad Squiddo. I actually bought some stuff for me. He's doing the free up skeletons because he's got a long-term plastic plan. So to fund it, he's selling like free ups. This is me tentatively maybe doing hobby again at some point. But I bought two. They haven't come yet, but I don't actually know how big they are. That big? I don't know. Large skeletons. So I bought two of those to be. I'm not sure yet. Either like big statues or sort of like skeletal giants or something. I thought that'd be quite fun. So that was nice to buy myself some hobby stuff. And Rubble City. I have a box of Rubble City. Bum, bum, bum. I can't get it. It's too heavy. Too much rubble. So much rubble. I got a big load of Rubble City off Fenris. And it's just this modular bricks. And poor Andy is going to paint it all for me. And I'm going to have a whole lot of Rubble City. So the plan is that I'll have loads of terrain, and then I will, or somebody else will take a whole bunch of pictures with some of my figures, almost certainly some of the new fantasy figures, and fantasy figures and some other bits and bobs on the terrain, and then there's photos that both me and Fenris can use to promote our stuff. So it's like a nice little collaboration project there that I'm quite looking forward to, because we both want more photos of our things in the place in situ, so he can use those figures to show what, the pictures to show how cool it looks having figures on the actual terrain, and I could show off my figures in lovely terrain. So it's a win-win. But I was originally gonna paint it myself, and then I saw that. So Andy, he hasn't had a proper look at it yet. But Andy's going to be hopefully painting it all for me and putting it into some sort of semblance of order. So that's cool. So I'm excited about that. And those are all the things I have on the list. Whew, so I can breathe. What are you talking about? Women skeletons. So yeah, there's been a lot. Somehow, I can see Sleeping Dave. A Dave Guinea Pig's neck lumps got significantly smaller as well. So that's extra cool. Good old Dave. Which means maybe it is just going. Oh, he's totally asleep. He's asleep. So yeah, somehow I've managed to just get a million things done. I still have a million more things to do, so I really appreciate everyone just being wicked, because yeah, it's been a lot. I'm kind of just running out of day every day, and there's still so many more things that need doing, and a lot of them are really important. Things that I can't just go, see what I mean? I don't know. Yeah, there's a lot, but I have been trying to take some breaks among that as well. And then it's hard because I'm a bit of a roller coaster mood person, that I then get in like a and then just like work myself to the bone. I've had a few late ones this week, I think. But yeah, I have. Trying to get bits and bobs all together so that at least the list of things that I have to do is not quite as wild. And I have some extra things which will be happening. The news that you don't know yet. So there is a whole lot going to be coming up. So it's also clearing like my brain so that there's space for more things in there, because otherwise it just becomes enormous. So yeah, thanks for bearing with me. I go quiet. It has just been, I'm fine now, but so I couldn't do the show last week because I was just crying in bed. So that's the reality of the Annie. Yeah, so stuff's hard. I'm cool right now. Today's good. Although I'm a bit like, let's make a plan. What am I going to do today? Part of me was going to go to the office. I've got quite a few emails, so I might have a bit of a chilled one to sort of do some emails and a bit of like easy computery work in the kitchen. That'd be nice. Andy's not in, which means that I can sing loudly, which is also a bonus. Yeah, so I might just have one of those sort of days. And then next week will mostly be me trying to not tell you my new exciting thing that I will be able to tell you, but I'm going to save for the Sunday morning coffee. But we'll see how that goes, see how restrained I can be, which is not very well. So yeah, thanks. So yeah, I say like I had to cancel last week because brain was bad, still being troublesome, but I'm very proud of all the stuff I've managed to get done in that. So it's not so much like quantity of things, it's the type of things. So these sort of business deals and things that I've managed to make sure still happen is wicked. And what have I got? I think that's about it. I don't really want to go now. I feel like I've just gone all of the things. Let's finish this bit of coffee. But some of that news next week's about Bad Squiddo getting bigger and betterer. So this is also good. Having more people now, I've started delegating more and more tasks. I'm slowly going to be doing more of that. Delegation's going to be really good at getting some of that stuff off my list. So I'll start doing things on my to-dos, and then I'll go, why am I doing this? I don't need to do this. Find someone else to do it. So that's been quite freeing, really, as well. So yeah, it's been a lot. That's just a small bit of my brain for you on a Sunday. I went for a very nice walk last week as well. I didn't mention that. Last Saturday before my brain collapsed. I went around Carsington. Oh my god, Carsington Water. That's where I saw that RAF RAF Quadrant Tower, which was cool because I didn't expect it. It's nice when you get history in the wild, just like do. Cool. And a couple of weeks ago, on one of my sad days, you know how like sometimes you buy stuff when you're sad, like Bad Squiddo miniatures, cure of all depressions. I bought myself a whole chunk of books off Abe Books. You know, you can get them for like £3 including postage. I did that so that I had a stream of little presents coming into my house. So I was going to go through some. I could save some of that for next week. I got a little selection. Most of them are World War II based, but they're all like super cheap on there because they're all secondhand books. This one's going to be interesting. Resisting Hitler. I started reading. I should have brought it down to show you. Female Husbands last night, which is really interesting already. I believe, I'm not entirely I haven't fully checked, but I believe when I looked up before, the author is a trans man as well. So it's not one of those books that are from, people outside writing about something, which I was a bit cautious of when I first saw it. But it's about history of trans men basically, and how it was perceived and how those people sort of what's the word? Not identified. It was kind of like before there was a lot of that sort of terminology. So it was just how people were seen. So that female husbands became a term, which is a bit of an odd one, but it kind of makes sense to go, oh, she's got a female husband. And that sort of crossover of people who were trans men and people who lived as men for various sort of bonuses, which is something that's comes up a lot when I'm researching women in history, because I'm like, how many of these are getting misgendered? So it's a really interesting topic that until I found this book, I hadn't seen anyone talk about. So I'm quite intrigued. I might sit and read a lot more of that today, because my nighttime readings are usually not very long, because only a few pages and things. So like, I've also got a quick sort of peek at what I got. Factory diary. None of these are particularly for miniatures or anything. It's just that sort of knowledge. Just want to know. I got a book about Fanny as well. I think that I finally saw someone when I had a quick look through mention that it was a rude sounding acronym. Yeah. So I always forget what it is. First aid something yeomanry. Why do I forget it all the time? Because my brain just goes, Fanny. A Woman on the Land book. So these are all just places that go, we have all these books that nobody wants. Have them for £1. Sisters in the Resistance. So some of these might be minis. But they're just it's a mixture of things that I'm interested in learning about. First aid nursing yeomanry. Yes, that's the one. Thank you. What's the word? Blah. Things that I want to learn about because I'm just interested in it. Things that could potentially make minis, and also just I have the best library on women in history. So I pretty much, if I see any book, if there's anything about women in history, especially women in military history, I'm like, I'll have it. It might not be useful right now, but at some point it will be. This I really like, and there were a lot of them cheap on A Books. And if you've got kids, it's a really cool book. It's just a fictional story, but it's one of those where they make a fictional story, but the information in it's accurate. And I really like the artwork. So it's just a sort of way of explaining women in the Air Force. Was it in World War II? Yeah. Just get you a particularly good page to show you. Just all these little, I really like the style. It's just fun. What were you on? Just reading the comments. Oh, that's a really good. Oh, it's just me looking at it, going, Bessie Coleman. There's some really cool books for kids. Well, I like kids' books. And they've usually got nice pictures, and sometimes it's just nice to sit and read something that's not walls and walls of text. But there's some wicked books that I've got that are like all that whole like about cool women in history and stuff like that, aimed at kids. I think it's ace. But yeah, this book's really nice. So yes, that's just a selection. I just grabbed some. They've all been coming through, so that's really cool. So that's made me a bit happy. Yeah, retail therapy, and for not a lot of stuff for not much money is always the best, because then you're like, yes, stuff, and not like, oh, I bought one thing for a fortune. Is Dave sleep chewing? He is. Dave's asleep, but then he started like going. Yeah, adult books need to have more pictures in. It's just nice. Right. I think that's it. I know. I don't want to go. I'm just like, how's it going? I think because I didn't do last week. Dave sleep yawning. How weird. Guinea pigs are so weird. They are the weirdest things. So yeah. Hope people all had a nice day, had a nice show, had fun. I know I don't want to go. I don't know what I'm going to do now. I've got to wash up. Guinea pig makeup tutorial. But that will be all for now. So the next week, I always do what's happening next week. Next week, all the exciting secret things happen next week, which may distract me somewhat. I'm also just going to be ploughing on, catching up on a lot of stuff. What have I even got written down? So I've already started writing my Monday tasks. What have I got on Monday? Usual stuff, pay some bills, send out some stuff, order more cowboys because you keep buying them. I've only put little tasks. I haven't even plotted my major tasks for Monday yet. Right, so I will go. Thank you very much for coming along. Thanks for coming back after I was not here last week. I hope you all have a very good day, and if you haven't given the thumb up yet on the video, give it a little thumb up. Right. Cheers, all of you. See you. Bye. Nope. As I'm looking for the button, I won't swear at the end of this one. There we go.